Let's move on to our next main topic today. And our next and final main topic today gets submitted to us by Dustin Crawford. And Dustin Crawford writes, "Hey, John and crew, just saw on Variety that Orphan Black," I know everybody's excited about this, "that Orphan Black and Perry Mason actress Tatiana," I've never pronounced her last name right, Maslany, I think it's Maslany, "has been cast as She-Hulk. I'm not familiar with her work personally, but I'm excited that the show is moving along. What do you think of the casting? Thanks, and bring on the filthy." All right, man, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yes, 3-time Emmy nominated, 1-time Emmy winning Best Lead Actress in a Series, Tatiana has been cast as She-Hulk from a show Orphan Black. Now, if you've never seen Orphan Black, here's why she got nominated 3 times for Best Lead Actress. She plays like over a dozen different characters. She plays clones, each with their own personalities, each with their own backgrounds, and she kills it. She absolutely kills it. I never finished the series. Full disclosure, I never finished the series. But she was incredible. And she, again, got recognized, won herself an Emmy Award, which is absolutely fantastic. And it has now come out, the source of a lot of speculation ever since D23 last year when they announced they were doing She-Hulk, and everybody's asking, who's going to be She-Hulk? Who's going to be... A lot of people thought Alison Brie, because remember there was that casting call. It's like, we're looking for an Alison Brie type. And like Alison Brie's like, I'm here. But they end up going with an Emmy-winning actress, Tatiana. Rob, you know, I always say that when people ask about, hey, John, what do you think about X actor and X role? I don't care. Just make sure you get somebody who's talented. If Kevin Feige was taking my advice, they just crushed it. A 3-time Emmy-nominated actress, an Emmy-winning actress, a girl this caliber, a girl who's shown she can already pretty much do everything. I didn't really see much of her on Perry Mason because I got into 3 episodes of Perry Mason, then I ditched it. I wasn't liking Perry Mason all that much, so I can't evaluate her on that. All I've ever really seen her in is Orphan Black, and she crushes it and got a lot of accolades and won a lot of awards for it. So, Rob, on top of just the fact that everybody's just excited about She-Hulk, and whenever we get some Disney Plus original shows that they've been talking about for a year, and we've gotten a grand total of 1 so far, but whenever we do, listen, you may not know much about Tatiana, folks, but if you're looking forward to She-Hulk, get excited, because they just crushed it as far as adding absolute, like, cosmic level talent. And I think it's fantastic news. Rob, you caught wind of this. You heard about this. What's your reaction to her being cast in this?
I'm all in. I mean, I think once again, Marvel's crushing it when they're looking at people. I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, it makes total sense when you hear about it. You're like, of course, that's who they should cast. I love Alison Brie. You know, Dave Franco is a very lucky man. I would love to have seen her as She-Hulk, but I think this casting's tremendous. I love it. I love that Mark Ruffalo yesterday tweeted her, "Welcome to the family, cuz." And I thought that was really cool. I mean, again, it's just, you know, first of all, that we're getting a She-Hulk series at all is quite astounding. And now that, an Emmy winner is going to be hulking out, that's pretty cool. So, like I always say, John, we live in, despite all the craziness, if you're an imagination connoisseur, we're sure getting some great programming and movies now. We sure are.
Yeah, there are some good times to live in. And just to keep everybody updated here, this is what Variety wrote. Tatiana Maslany is nearing a deal. So it's not 100% locked, but once you're in, we talk about this all the time. Once you hear that a studio and a talent are now in negotiations on the contract, what that means is that while it's not a completely done deal yet, it does mean that the studio has decided you're the person we want. And the talent has decided, I want that role. So once it gets there, 98% of the time, it gets done. On a very, very rare occasion does it fall apart after that. But it happens sometimes, but still. Is nearing a deal to play the lead role of the upcoming She-Hulk series at Disney+. Variety has learned from sources. The series centers on lawyer Jennifer Walters, Maslany, cousin of Bruce Banner, who inherits his Hulk powers after she receives a blood transfusion from him. Unlike Bruce, however, when she hulks out, Jennifer is able to retain most of her personality, intelligence, and emotional control. And of course, she's a lawyer, so that plays a big part of who and what the character is. Again, this is great news. And Rob, I don't want to rain on the parade. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here or anything, but as excited as I am by this casting, as absolutely tremendous that it is that they went out and got themselves an Emmy winner, while all this is good, it is difficult for me right now, I must confess, to get terribly excited. Because for a year now, Rob, for basically a year, we've been hearing about this great casting for Marvel, for Disney Plus's some show, about this great writer joining some show, about this great show that they're going to put into production for it. And we're sitting here near a year later, and we've still only ever gotten one. And we still, I need to start seeing some stuff on my screen. I need to start seeing some shit here. And then I'll start getting very excited. So it's very, very good news. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to crap all over the news. It's great news. I'm just saying it's difficult for me to really, like, when they announce like a new thing about the DCEU, I can get excited about that because they've given us DCEU stuff. When I hear about, you know, whoever joining Eternals or something about the MCU, I can get excited because they give us MCU stuff. This Disney Plus stuff has been, keep talking the good talk. I need to start seeing some shit. I just need to start seeing some stuff on my screen. Like, I don't know. Am I being unreasonable?
I'm with you, dude, because, like, you know, all the shows that I really want to see WandaVision. I really want to see Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, I'm like, we're going to get a second season of The Mandalorian before we get one MCU show. And I think that's nutty. I mean, I understand. Look, I get it. We're in an interesting time, but I also think that they should have had, along with Mandalorian, an MCU show ready to go. You know, and the fact that, when did Disney Plus debut? It's almost a year, right?
Yeah,
it'll be a year in November.
Yeah,
no MCU show. I mean,
and I get it. Look, you're right. The pandemic hit. It kind of threw, but you're absolutely right. They should have. And look, this is nothing new. All of us talked about this in December and October. Like December, January, February. Once Mandalorian was done, a lot of the fans were like, you should have had another show ready to go. Like, right. And maybe that means they should have delayed the launch of Disney Plus. Maybe they should have waited until they had a few other significant things in the bag so we could launch. Don't drop it all at once, but hey, Mandalorian. 4 weeks after Mandalorian finishes, we got Falcon Winter Soldier ready to go. 3 weeks after that's done, we've got this ready to go. And get it. Yeah. Anyway, this is a song we've sung before. It's just a growing frustration. But anyway. But
it's all, you know, it's I think in the streaming wars, streaming services are only as good as their programming. Yeah. And has there been anything that's dropped on Disney Plus in the last 6 months that's interested you?
Hamilton.
Okay, but, you know what? That's a big one.
That's a huge thing. But again, that's just something that they did have that they said, well, we got jack shit to show now, so let's take what we were going to drop in 2021. Let's just drop it now. And granted, they did. Hamilton's great, but it's a one-time thing. It's not even a 7 episode season of something. So I don't know. Look, but I don't want my moaning and bitching to take away from the fact that this is great news. If you are somebody who has been looking forward to this She-Hulk show, this is something to celebrate. This is good news, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do moving forward. Question is, guys, what do you think about this casting? What do you think about She-Hulk right now? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.